Next on the line is somebody that you know really, really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, he believes in combat. Hello, Ambazonia! Blood by! And leave him. Blood by! Put your hands together and welcome comrades. Next on the line is somebody that you know really, really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, he believes in combat. Hello, Ambazonia! Blood by! And leave him. Blood by! Put your hands together and welcome comrades. Please. Block by block, rooftop by rooftop, got down, man, got down. My fellow Ambazonians, sons and daughters of the Ambazonian Revolution, it is not time to celebrate. This is war. It is not time to celebrate. They robbed you of your homeland. They took away your hope. They robbed you of the right to dream of a future in the country of your birth. They murdered your citizens. They transform your brain to think like a Cameroonian, to worship their flag, to sing their anthem, to pray, hope, and dream like a Cameroonian. They took away the land of your birth. They demonized you. They robbed you of hope, of a dream of a future that is better than the one you inherited. They killed your parents, turned your fathers into boys, raped your mom, made your sisters to be ashamed, robbed them in more. They sent you into exile. You lost your neighborhood. They dispersed your friends. You became delinquent in a land that you did not understand. They took away something so essential to your own existence that you live here with your body, but your spirit hovers without knowing where to land. They took away from us something so important that life became something we have rejected in this land. They took away from you a country that gave you hope, built the first democratic system where there was an electoral government change. They took away from you your economic system. They blockade your so you could go into their own system to work for them. They made you drive through their own system so you could pay toll gate into their own system. They rob you of your right to think, to hope, to have a future in the country of your birth. 243 years ago, the Americans told the British that their time of independence was now. They fought for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They lost the Battle of Boston, but they won the war for the freedom of the United States. The South Africans face a nuclear power. They face a nuclear power country. Mandela said he is going to die for his people. He struggled in jail for 27 years because he didn't want to bequeath to the next generation something worse than he had inherited. He fought like a valiant soldier. The Eritreans humbled the Ethiopians, a more powerful Ethiopia supported by Libya and Russia. They fought in trenches, in gutter holes, on rooftop to be able to bequeath to the next generation something better. Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooftop by rooftop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is not going to be given to you on a platter of gold. I can assure you here from Washington, the land of our birth, the towns of Ambazonia will be liberated by the valiant soldiers who on a daily basis lay their lives, give their blood, deprive themselves of something more precious to make sure they can stand for our girls, for our children, for our mothers, for our fathers, to bequeath to the next generation a better country that they inherited. If this is the last thing you must give for your country, stand here in Washington and think of the freedom you enjoy. Think of the millions of Ambazonians who have not gone to school, those in jail. Think of Seseko, think of Deacon Tasang, think of Poundful, think of Mancho BBC, think of Mami Abi. Are you ready to lay your life for Ambazonia? I can assure you, Ambazonians, we will build the most beautiful place on earth, a place that you would take pride in calling yourself a citizen, that will give to you a social system, an economic system, a political system you can be proud of. That is why we fight. We are ready to die for it, go to jail for it, so all of us as a people will be free someday. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia.
Una, good evening, the great people of Ambazonia. Wa papa them and wa mami them, for all the Ambazonian picking them, we salute una. Today, we're in number 20 day for the month for September for 2023. The leader of our War of Independence, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he don't put out a message where for send a warning for all the traditional funds and the chiefs for Mezam and all the villages where they are around Mezam. The leader of our liberation talk say, they don't come for briefing about the work with the colonial governor for the west region of Cameroun and the colonial governor for the Savannah states, l'Afrique. The meeting where they don't get them, with all the funds for Mezam, for use quarter heads, and the president then for the various cultural associations for undermine the Ambazonian war of liberation and the right for our people them for free themselves. The leader talks say this plan between Lele Lafrique and the colonial governor for the Western region and the funds for around Mezan, this plan will be active for Awin, and we want the following funds. May they take special note. The fund of Awin, Fozo II, Tanyi Christian Els Lekwe, the president of Ndong Awin Cultural and Development Association, and the Dio of Batibo, Emile Atem Papan. The leader talks, they say, these people then, with the colonial governors of the north of the Western region they don't talk, say, they say, all the quarter heads and all the funds and all the heads for the community cultural groups, they must do everything humanly possible for undermine the aspiration of the Ambazonian people then for be free, or these people then they go face consequences. They say all the quarter heads for Mankon, for Nkwen, for Bafut, for Chomba, for Mbatu, for Bali, for Bamenda Dankwe, and for Nso Ngwa, would also one all man. Make the no say, they say, any act where they carry on, any meeting where they hold them against the Ambazonian people, any activity where they carry on for undermine the Ambazonian people, their right for self-determination, for their liberation and for their freedom, make the no say consequences they go day for each and every single one of these people then, where they work directly with the Cameroun colonial authorities, where they involve themselves directly for the war between Ambazonia and Cameroun. These people, they be specifically, they will be targeted. The leader also talks, say, the Ambazonia Governing Council, through our intelligence services, we don't launch a serious investigation for track and for undercover any work and any network with these people that they engage in, and the appropriate actions they will be taken. This message will come out for the leader of the Ambazonian people, their liberation. This message, they don't send them to the press secretary, Cecilia Amabo, as well. The second message will come up for the leader in office. The Ambazonia Governing Council, it don't listen to an audio will come out for members of the IG, specifically for members of Sese-Kwa Yoktabe IG, members of Sese-Kwa Yoktabe Yerima IG. An audio message, it don't come out, and I go play them for all one for here. Where members of the IG, they call for the assassination, they call, say, make the court General Efang a head. The leader talks, say, we don't hear say some of you now. They talk say, make the court the head for the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces by the citizens of Manu. The leader also talks here, they say, make these people they know say the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces they be crowned as a Seseko by the same chiefs of Manu. The leader talks say, the state of Manu, now the most backward state for Ambazonia. And he talks, he clap his hand. It was a move to clap our hands. Thanks to the elitism, to the corruption, and to the enablers of Manu. The leader talks say, these members of the IGs, they never ever talk say, make they cut the head, or make they cut the head them. When their own Pekin, when their own president of their IG, when La République kidnapped the president of the IG, it kidnapped their own Pekin. These kingmakers of the IGs, they not be talk say, make the Pekin for Manu, they cut the heads of the colonial administrators for Manu. When the butchers of our people, they arrest the president of the IG, these members of the IG, they not be talk say, make Pekin for Manu, the people of Manu, make they rise up and cut the head of the butchers of Yaoundé. They not protest. They not do an uprising. They not ask me head to be cut off. The leader also talks say, these same members of the IG, they don't give money for what they call announcing Manu Unity Warriors. And these Manu Unity Warriors, in the last few months, they don't kill, they don't massacre more than 121 people of Manu. They burn villages, they burn houses. These elites, these CPDM elites, where they don't infiltrate and hijack the IG, they never ever call, make they cut the heads of these Manu Unity Warriors. When they don't turn, they kill the children of Manu, kill the mothers of Manu, kill the women of the girls of Manu, burn the houses of Manu villages. They never talk, make they cut their heads. Now when the leader talks, say, the hate where these people they carry on, and they use that hate for Haram because of their desperation and anxiety because of their entitlement mentality and the feeling, say they don't lose the illusion for the power where they be things that they get them for social media. The leader talks, say, Ambazonia, you go overcome all these things, Ambazonia will prevail over the internal and the external enemies. We want to thank our forces. Over the last 3 weeks, our forces, they don't engage the occupation military in so many battles. We want to congratulate, we want to thank our forces for the sacrifices, for the dedication, for their bravery, for their courage. Secondly, we want to thank the Ambazonian people for the overwhelmingly positive response and the way they don't embrace the liberation tax. The leader one, he extend a gratitude to all the Ambazonian families, to all the Mamidan, to all the big mommy, big papa them, to all the aunties and the uncles, to all our brothers and sisters, we don't embrace the Ambazonia liberation tax as a collective means for all we for raise enough resources for end Cameroun a presence for our territory. A battle, it takes place today for Bafut, a serious battle. We're gonna keep the forces them for prayers. Over the last few days, as the leader announced some for the audio message to the Ambazonian people today, the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces, the leadership of our liberation, they deploy the Ambazonia Defense Forces for special operations and special missions to the state of Libya, and also for the mobilization of our population for the liberation tax campaign. We also deploy the Ambazonia Defense Forces to the great state of Manu for special operations and also for the mobilization of our villages, our communities, and our people then for the liberation tax campaign. With this, we thank the general for his leadership on the ground, and we thank our people then. The liberation tax now means for we the Ambazonian people then, for make ourselves strong. I just finished for do a study, a research on the Russian-Ukraine war. Currently, Russia, it don't capture 23% of the Ukrainian territory, and it don't hold on. Russia don't capture 23% of the Ukraine territory. It don't hold on. There is nothing the world can do about it. Remember for 2014, Russia captured Crimea, a Holland. Within and for 2023, there is nothing the world can do about it. There is nothing the United Nations can do about it. There's nothing the Security Council can do about it. The only way where Ukraine will get that territory back now either through a negotiated settlement where it guarantee Russia their security, where Ukraine promise for be a neutral ground, or Ukraine fight the fight, kick Russia out and take the territory back. What did this one mean for the Ambazonian people then? Before I go, what it mean for Ambazonia? The entire Western world will be led by the United States of America. It brings more than 36 countries in, especially the countries for Europe. It brings all them together for Shidon, for raise money, for Guiana, for Ukraine. They made buy weapons for fight Russia, for kick Russia out of Ukraine. Now listen very carefully. The United States now the lead for support the war for Ukraine. It mobilized other 30-something countries. They come together for raise money for give for Ukraine, make Ukraine buy weapons, for fight Russia, for kick Russia out. Because the world not fit go tell Russia, say, come up for that, give that people their country back here. Any country, any land where you use the military, you capture them, you conquer them, it become your own. That's what the world did. Una open una ear them, una ear fine. Una open una ear them, una ear. The United States alone, it don't give Ukraine more than 150 billion for military aid. The money must be correct for fight Russia. Now they don't bring another 30-something countries. They join them. And all these countries then, they need to go should also make a protest against Russia. England, they give tanks. Germany, they give this. France, they give this. This, they give this. For raise arms, for give for Ukraine, for fight Russia. Now so the world you operate. We will not there for that place. That's why we understand agitation will give you independence. Protest no give independence. Noise for WhatsApp, for Facebook, for YouTube, no will give independence. The world will function that way. If you want independence, you could do what the Americans they do when they be under British occupation. They stand the fight for drive the British and for take their country back, for become a free people and establish a government. We could develop the people of the United States and create a prosperous country for the people of the United States. And today, when they see the results, we're not going to be any different. Every people will not be free. An established process day for witty and occupied people need for doing, for become free. Stand, fight, and gain your freedom, or you make the choice for be a coward and she don't for pray. Say some place, some people that they call them say United Nations, they go come one day, can't tell Cameroun, make it reverse the occupation of 1961 and they give you something back. That one, they call and say stupidity, they call and say daydreaming, and they call and say you be a coward. An educated human being, he want freedom, he want dignity, he want a better life for himself, for a family, for a kingdom. He follow the footsteps of other brave people then, of other people then when they don't gather the courage. They be ready, they be willing for make the necessary sacrifice for be free. Me what they talk for you today, from this place where I did, for this country where I did it. And because we also take risk. Any Ambazonia we don't come out la Republic, for come out the hell and come from another country. You take risk. No man no come for they can't pity you and then they give you a flight ticket and then they give you freedom for another country. You take risk. You make an investment. The liberation tax. Now for every Ambazonia, And it be compulsory. Whether you believe for Ambazonia or you don't believe for Ambazonia, as long as you stay for the Ambazonia territory, the liberation tax be compulsory. As long as your foot, the day inside that territory, they call it Ambazonia, you must pay that liberation tax. That territory, they call it Ambazonia, they under occupation. If you day inside, you must pay the liberation tax. So the liberation tax, now for we, the people them, we come together for put 5,000 for every woman, 10,000 for every man picking. And if you did for diaspora, now $100, if you did for this part where they call and say the West. And if you did for the African continent, you depend on $50. And it call on every Ambazonian family. If you don't like the suffering of the pain of our people on the ground, help pay your $100 for end that suffering. If you don't like the torment, we were people that the face up under the occupation, give $100 for end that torment. It didn't have for one hand. It not there for the United Nations in hand. We not blame La Republique as much as we want her. Blaming La Republique, it no go liberate Ambazonia. It require sacrifice. $100 for any Ambazonia for diaspora, $50 for Ambazonians who they did for the African continent. 10,000 francs for man picking them on the ground, 5,000 francs for woman them. What future did for one hand. The destiny of our picking them did for one hand. Ambazonia, now the land where Cameroun they survive on. So there is nothing you want if you do one, where you feel talk up, where you could make Cameroun leave Ambazonia. Except we drive them from our land. The liberation and the process, we don't start up for drive Cameroun out of our land. Wait till we need them now. The forces, they don't show say the feed one. The Ambazonian forces, the nationalist forces, the Ambazonian defense forces, they don't prove to all of UNA their commitment, their dedication, their willingness to sacrifice. All waiting that they ask them will not give them the necessary material, the necessary arms, the required defense capabilities and capacities. Make them teach Cameroon a lesson. Make them show Cameroon who Ambazonians be. So if you be on the ground and you say suffer over plenty, the only way for end that suffer now for you for sacrifice 5,000 francs. For end that suffer, for end that pain, for end that hopelessness, for end that misery. Now for man beginning for sacrifice that 10,000 francs. For end the hopelessness where Papa go woke up for morning time, it did look if thinking them, it did feel so ashamed because it never fit for provide a brighter future for that picking them. And it look your own past, it be very painful. It look the future, it be very bleak for the picking them. And you know if you explain why. The Ambazonia Governing Council want to give you hope. It want to end your hopelessness. It want to end your pain. It want to end your suffering. It want to end your misery. Not die hopeless. Not die in misery. Die in a free Ambazonia. Pay your liberation tax. Pay your liberation tax. When they launch this liberation tax, me, una brother, I be the first person for pay my liberation tax. I pay my liberation tax as a person with the stay for ground. My family, all the man picking them for my family, they don't pay their liberation tax. Because the moment they launch them, I call every person, pay your liberation tax. All man pay liberation tax. All the women them for my family, they be the first Ambazonian women them for pay their liberation tax. When they launch the liberation tax to the diaspora, I be the first person for the Ambazonia Governing Council. The moment the president is signed that signature, I pay him for say leadership must lead by example. I pay my liberation tax. We need to tell you make you do something we need to do. The leader need to tell you make pay a liberation tax when you never pay your own. All members of the Ambazonia Governing Council cabinet, they don't pay their liberation tax. And I want to thank the Ambazonia Governing Council Community Assembly. I want to thank them for their accountability. Because for the Community Assembly, the members of Ambazonia Governing Council Community Assembly, they talk say they must put a list for make sure say all the top executive of Ambazonia Governing Council, they don't pay their liberation tax. So that if they never pay them, the members of Ambazonia Governing Council Community Assembly, they go hold the Igs-Cpdm officials who they never pay their liberation tax to account. It not end for them. Members of the Community Assembly now, they hold each other accountable for say, okay, we dey for Community Assembly with this number of persons. Now they don't put up a list for the Community Assembly. Say every person who dey inside that Community Assembly must pay liberation tax. Very exciting. Now we the people will hold each other accountable. If you don't pay a liberation tax, the person, the house within next to you, hold them accountable. Say they must pay their liberation tax too. If you don't pay a liberation tax, tell your uncle, tell your auntie, hold them accountable for pay their liberation tax. All right? Good. Something interesting. It happened for the Ambazonia liberation struggle. Something very interesting. And we need to know. Una sabi the state of Manu, at the place where the leader, through the chiefs of Manu, through the chiefs of Boki, through our people there, they launch the Ambazonian people their rights for self-determination for the state of Manu. The state of Manu, it will be at the place, at the heart of the Ambazonia War of Liberation. It starts for the state of Manu in terms of armed resistance, and the biggest battles, the most consequential battles, where they inspire all the other states of Ambazonia, they take place on Manu. Manfred town will be hot from morning till night. All across the state of Manu. Manu will be the first state when the Foude la République is time for panic and it's time for pack out. Ask yourself, who's a Manu day today in terms of the resistance? And what happened for Manu? What happened for this place where you get the highest level of commitment? Secondly, when the one talks, they say, now few people they get power for here, and not them only them must talk on behalf of Ambazonia. They start for kill Ambazonian forces on the ground. in order for them to go talk. In order for them to go get the so-called Swiss talks. They get for kill forces for go get the Swiss talks. They kill General Ivo. 1 year later, they kill 20-something for Bui. So that the figure get the Swiss talks. They don't start again. At every time, when the ground is strong, when the people they show passion and enthusiasm, and they be focused for do the necessary work. The spoilers, the Cameroun Cpdm elites, where they don't hijack the Igs. All the movements of the Igs, they don't be hijacked and taken over by Cameroun Cpdm elites. Now then they push the agenda, push the narratives, and guarantee say none of the Igs, they go put soldiers on the ground under the Ig. The Cameroun Cpdm colonial elites, the people where they don't benefit from the occupation, and for their retirement, they don't move into the diaspora. They still collect pension from the Cameroun government. They are picking, they don't take over the Cpdm party. Their brothers, they don't take over the Cpdm party. Their grandpicking, they don't take over the Cpdm party. Now they are grandpicking them now, they be the colonial administrators. They did for the police, they did for the gendarmes, they did for the bees. These Cpdm elites, where they don't take over all the Igs and be the policy makers for the Igism, they don't promise. Say the Ig no will get anything for do self-defense. And the Ig, it must destroy the ADF. Now they promise that. That's the promise. Why? Because a leadership will focus the people them and not be for noise. Now the same people them since 1960, they don't make them say Ambazonia no fit gain independence. Any step Ambazonia they want to take them. They bring corruption, they bring bribery, they bring division, they bring tribalism, divide, weaken our people then. Now the same methods, they don't use them. Today, an audio don't come out where it reveal which they plan, where it reveal which they want do am now at this stage where Ambazonia it is succeed. They don't go back for work. They don't go back for go do the work for destroy Ambazonia.
Comrade Igs-Cpdm, because people like Una, now Una be people the way they look up to Una. Say make Una shine the light for others to follow. But Una get very clearly.
This audio way Una one listener. I know I make Una talk say as you talk so. I want Una carry Una own ear Una hear. I want make Una hear. Wait till the Cpdm elites, where they don't take over the Ig, especially the Cpdm elites, where they don't take over the Seseko Ayoktabe Yerima Christmas Ebini Ig. Wait till the planner. in order for end the Ambazonian people, their liberation struggle. So that we carry empty hand, we carry our hand and put them for our head. And then Cameroon will come now and say, okay, when I come, we could talk. Make we go talk with empty hand. So that as in the talk, they go now for do reconciliation. Upobia. They mask themselves under the IG. Na Igs-Cpdm. Na Cameroun narrative. Na infiltration. Na take note. They need talk because they like Ambazonia. They need talk now for kill your dreams. Kill your hopes. Now then they engineer the killings of Ambazonian soldiers. And they celebrate when Ambazonian soldiers die. Now then they stop the various factions of the IGs. May they not get themselves involved in self-defense. Now these same Igs-Cpdm elites, they don't infiltrate all the loose forces on the ground and use the Cameroun colonial bees and use the Igs-Cpdm network, infiltrate all those forces and take over the forces and take over the control of those forces. And some of those forces, the things that they deal with some people and for diaspora, not knowing say, don't be infiltrated by the Cameroun bee and the Cameroun intelligence services controlled by the Igs-Cpdm colonial elites using local networks. As I talk about today, the Manu Unity warriors, they don't be taken over by the Cameroun colonial bees. All the villages where they born for Manu, not be that those speaking themselves they born. Now the Cameroun colonial bees, the intelligence operatives, where they don't take over the Manu Unity warriors, now then they burn those houses and mask themselves as Manu Unity warriors. Now then they kill the children of Manu, the women of Manu. Now these colonial Igs-Cpdm elites, where they inside the IG. Now then they engineer the killings of the children of Manu. They burn the villages of Manu. In order to turn the Manu people then against the Ambazonian resistance. For kill the resistance, surrender Ambazonia back to Cameroun. When I follow their discussion then for Christmas Bini Forum, when I go here with they talk, when I go here with they come up for a Bini mob. These kingmakers of the IG, when I go know the poison when I the face as a people. Wait till they hold the Ambazonian people them back. Not been a Cameroun. Not been a Cameroun, the whole Ambazonia may not succeed. The number one obstacle to the Ambazonian liberation struggle. Now the IGs, where they don't be infiltrated by the Cameroun Igs-Cpdm elites, and they don't take those groups over. The number one obstacle to the Ambazonian liberation, Ambazonian freedom, and our right for self-determination. Now the groups, where they call and say the IG, where they don't be taken over by the Cameroun colonial elites. The IG of Sesekwa Yokabe and Yerima, it don't be taken over by the Cameroun colonial elites from the state of Manu. That's why in 7 years, especially over the last 6 months, 121 Ambazonian children, mommy them, papa them, brothers and sisters, they don't be killed by the Manu Unity warriors. They burn the big hospital for Manfe, burn the Catholic church on Chang, All these things, they be engineered by the Cameroun colonial Cpdm elites from Manu, where they don't take over the Ayokabe Yerima Christmas Ebini, the IG, in order to turn the people of Manu against the Ambazonia liberation struggle. All the houses then where they don't burn them for Berlin for Akwaya. Now the Cameroun colonial Cpdm elites, they pay these Manu Unity warrior forces. Where inside them, the bees, they don't take over those forces. Now then they burn those houses for turn the people against Ambazonia liberation struggle. These things they need to be done by those forces. They be engineered by the Cameroun colonial Cpdm elites where they don't take over the IGs and using the bees to infiltrate these forces. That's why, since they kill the children, the women, the men, the brothers, and the sisters from Manu, we need to see these same people come from outside, can't condemn them. They should don't quiet because now then they engineer them for frustrate the people so that the people they turn their backs against anything Ambazonia. The village where me accommodate Kajifu, in the last 3 months, they don't go there 4 times in 3 months. 4 times. They don't drive every person. A village of about 3,000 something people. The Cameroun bees using these rogue infiltrated forces. They don't drive every person from that village. Why? Because the Cameroun government, no one make while people them they be for those villages. Because if our people they be for those villages, the resistance will remain strong. Their goal now for drive our people them for all the villages. Because they think say if people they do for villages, soldiers will create camps around those villages. So the Cameroun bees, they empty those villages using these fake Amber boys, using these fake groups, what they call them unity warriors. They use them for commit atrocities, for kill people them, burn houses. 2 weeks ago, they go for the village of Kajifu, they burn 4 houses unprovoked, kill 2 people them, unprovoked, for drive all man, make it go back and become refugees for Nigeria. When I hear people them like Christmas, they come out outside, can't talk anything. When I hear all that people they call them Dr. Agbo Charles, they come out for outside, can't talk anything. When I hear all these noise makers for WhatsApp, come out for outside, can't talk anything. Because now they engineer them. How within 6 months, for inside one state, the forces where they detoxing are their own. They don't kill 121 persons. The denizens of those same places. And you get these people that call themselves elites. The only thing where they will go shit on from morning to night for doing, now for engineer how for kill ADF forces. Why? The hatred of the progress of the Ambazonian people then. Because Ambazonia now they don't rise up. They contribute money for focus for their liberation struggle. These elites, they vex. The Christmas Ebini, they vex. When Ambazonia they make progress, then they vex. So they must instigate chaos and disruption. When I hear the audio.
Wait, make even the younger generation cannot look at you people like a role model. They don't feel look una and then be inspired by una action them because corny fluff on our skin. And then today when the younger generation they do corny, you want blame na who? You get for blame on yourself. Pick a day for our side. Una no fit come every day. Peter Agbo una who dey come for here every day can cry. Oh blah blah blah. It can attack me. Meanwhile, they for side to pick a day for side, but it can attack me because of what? Because una mind a bit clouded. Una mind a bit clear. Una no one read between the lines. For read which way somebody the right time and how it favor una. But because una get this una vicuma factor inside una skin, it make them now una no fit use reasoning. Una no fit read in between the line for understand what is somebody the talk about. It be very simple. Every day Peter they complain for they say, oh, Momo people them we they come, oh this is and that. Efang they gather Momo people and they can't harass people them.
Una listen for the language of tribalism. All what they do for here, they push the agenda of tribalism, and then for use specific things for justify their killing of Ambazonia soldiers. Una pay attention. They use tribalism and they will use some silly excuses for justify why then they call for the assassination and the cutting of General Efang head. Una hear?
Very simple. People don't make it very, very simple. If Efang they come out for Momo, come because they harass people of Upper Bayan, where are the Upper Bayan people? What's that in there? What's that the Man Unity Warriors? What's that in there? Me man Unity Warriors, stop Efang. Me stop him. If Peter na chief will no want me then call say an idiot. If be chief, he get influence. Me use the influence, mobilize the people of Upper Bayan. As Shasa Botosi na about 8,000 or is na 4,000, my men that Northwest na they live for day. Mobilize all of them. When Ekfan they come for this, so for come harass people, so it discriminate them. It shows that any man waiting for Upper Bayan is a potential target to Efang, right? So when it is stop una for mobilize una say the wait Efang, if Efang can una kill it. Simple, hold Efang in a cut am. You don't see what's happen for boy. Maybe Efang one go for go in about 8,000 or is in 4,000, my men that Northwest na they live for day. Mobilize all of them. When Ekfan they come for this, so for come harass people, so it discriminate them. It shows that any man waiting for Upper Bayan is a potential target to Efang, right? So when it is stop una for mobilize una say the wait Efang, if Efang can una kill it. Simple, hold Efang in a cut am. You don't see what's happen for boy. Maybe Efang one go for go harass boy people. Them what happen? They say na boy 13 or 23 to 39 or whatsoever. You don't hear Efang don't pass again for boy. That's how you fight. That's how you protect.
All right. Una don't hear from the traitors their own mob self. Wait till the person that they call it advocate, the devil, the masked man. I'll come into that. Wait till they tell now the plan where the colonial elites, where they don't take over the IG, that they call for, it just can't speak on their behalf and then release the audio for outside so that make they incite the population, make they pay fake forces, make they assassinate General Efang, cut his neck. Now the work of the IGDs. Now the work of the IGDs. Now the new plan this. That's why they release the audio from outside. They not release them like some argument where they talk about Christmas. But you know, all that one them now they conny where they take them for wrap them around the message where they want push them for outside. The real message where they want put them for outside. We now remember when they killed the boy 39, they used some stupid, silly excuses for justify. And then when they ask them, after we not kill them, the weapons we not take and who's the day? Sako talk them for television. Same the weapons they for La République. May they go ask La République. Now the La République no place where the weapons are there. Now, the Sisekui IG, the Christmas and all the elites, they call on the people of Upper Bayan, the people of Manu. May they catch Efang, kill Efang, cut Efang in neck. Ma ask Ambazonia something. When Sako with Eric Tato and the other one will get 39 teeth. When the IG of Sako and all the rest, the plan, they kill General Ivo, the IG of Sako give Ambazonia independence. I want to ask you now, after they kill one greatest hero, the best general of all times, Sako can give an independence. When they kill the Bui 39, the IG can't give an independence. You need to do it because they like now. If you need to open your ear them and shine your eye. If you take 39 of your best forces from the battlefield, what will happen with your own strength? Your strength will go up or your strength will go down. When they kill Ivo, the liberation struggle die. All the places where Ivo, with the ADF and the Tigers, they don't liberate them. La Republic come back, they use Eric Tato, Sako, Cameroun come back and take over all those places. They recruit any fighters? They train any fighters? They arm any fighters? They deploy any fighters? The greatest obstacle, the number one obstacle to the Ambazonian liberation struggle. Now these groups, where they call and say the IGs, where they don't be taken over by the Cameroun colonial Igs-Cpdm elites. Now then they stop the Ambazonian people from being free. The greatest obstacle to the Ambazonian liberation struggle, not the Cameroun, not the IG. Now, they plan for kill General Efang. You don't ask yourself, these same noisemakers, now how many soldiers they don't train them? They put them for that same manual for the liberation of Ambazonia. With all these, their elites, them where they say they get them for their various groups. Now, how many soldiers they don't train them, deploy them, arm them, and put them for that same manual they talk to me they kill Efang. Efang, they can't liberate the land. The opposition to the liberation, the Cameroon created opposition to the liberation. They talk to me they kill the person who want to liberate the land. They need to talk to me they kill Efang because they like the people of Manu. They do them on behalf of the Cameroon government. They did do them on behalf of the Cameroon colonial Igs-Cpdm elites, where they want to maintain their colonial elitism power, influence, money, prestige, class. Because the Cameroon colonial state now their source of livelihood. They get education, but they don't use their education for create wealth. They get education. They don't use their education for create abundance and opportunities. Lazy people then, they depend on the blood of Ambazonians for their colonial survival. Education is supposed to give people them character, their own. Education don't turn them into blood suckers and poison. They born me inside my face. I be picking for that money. So the money not be only for una. I grew up for that man face. I go primary school. They born me for man face. I go primary school. I go secondary school for that man face. That man face not be only for una. I be picking for that money. When I want to destroy him, me I want to liberate him. When I want to destroy the liberation, me I want to break the state. We're soldiers. Over the last few years, we don't build a formidable force. We don't shake him. Everything for Manu, don't die. The only thing we give the people the hope that the Ambazonia Defense Forces. We deploy them at any time. We're base, we're unit for Manu. It'll be very strong. When I don't see over the last few years, not only the Ambazonia Governing Council, it gathered the people of Manu for celebrate the Ambazonian Independence Day. There is no other movement, there is no other group, there is no other force. It don't gather the people of Manu for celebrate Independence Day. So what is this noise maker they talk about? Now this. Now that. In name na General Efang, the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Before I go one die, the chiefs for Manu, more than 100 chiefs from 100 villages, they invite General Ivo, make the biggest ceremony and crowning the chief of all chiefs and give General Ivo the highest title for Siseko. The chiefs they on the ground. They know who to protect them. The Manu chiefs on the ground, they know who to protect them. They know who's their loyal today. Not been a noise for WhatsApp group. For retired Cameroun colonial elites, Cameroun colonial Igs-Cpdm elites. The chiefs on the ground, they know who to protect them. We need to buy titles. General Efang don't show a leadership with the protection of the people there, for defend those communities, and for fight the enemy, and send them packing. The October one we don't put them for Manu. Now one of the biggest for Ambazonia. Through our commanders for the state. That's why the crowning. The chiefs, the entitled Igs-Cpdm colonial chiefs of Manu, their jealousy, what they think say now only them, they figure the title of Siseko. I hear say they call it say Christmas Ebini. Vex they can't kill him because the chiefs of Manu they don't crown General Efang as a Siseko. The colonial Igs-Cpdm chiefs. Today, vexation won't kill them. Jealousy, hatred. So why they crown Efang as a Siseko of Manu? They argue now, they do the write-ups. Oh, that one a lie. They go higher than this. They go higher than that. The liberation then on the ground. When a noise end for WhatsApp. When a feed do intoxication. When a feed poison the minds of our people. The authority of the Ambazonian people then. It is in the hands of the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Now we determine what will happen on the ground. Now we go even determine the fate of some of una. Una hear me fine. Now we will go determine the fate of some of una. If una not change for some of una, We don't swear with our lives. We go liberate the land. We take note. We keep archives. Anything we talk and we get them. We dey inside down a forum there. Some of una elites, we dey hate what una did one. Every noise una make am with the receiver. We know all una so. We dey keep list, long list. Any person get a file. When a time will come, accountability will be. We know say at this state of the liberation, any man feel run him up. When a time will come. When a time will come. When I continue for run when a mob. When I continue for call for the killing of our forces. When a time will come. When I go answer for all when a crimes and when I don't commit them for the Ambazonian people. Christmas evening, continue for create forums of enablers. And when I continue for poison the minds of the Ambazonian people. Continue for weaken the spirit of our people. Continue for use division and tribalism for justify the assassination of forces. When a time will come. When I go pay. When I go pay. They don't crown me as a sisiko. If you like them, when I go drink poison, when I jump on top bridge, when I go kiss electric pole, which people them all, when I go answer. For the Ambazonian people them, for the common Ambazonia, the elites for 62 years, the only thing will matter for them are themselves. The most selfish group of persons now the Cameroun created colonial elites. They trained them in the blood of Paul Biya. Now wicked people. They don't care about you. And then they keep you under occupation. Part of the liberation struggle that will give the common person a chance for life. The elites, and for make sure say you born picking a 70-year-old man, you go to sleep with your 21-year-old daughter. For your daughter, forget an opportunity, forget work. A 70-year-old grandpa, now make you begin to sleep with your sister. So that your sister figures small opportunity for drink garri, for pay rent. And their own future that they give you. And their own promise that for take the life out of you for their own joy. This liberation struggle and for end all that disgrace for our picking them. We were brothers, they get for go beg these elites. They get for go kneel down for these elites. For them to forget work, for pay their rents, and take care of their families. That's why they want to make you remain slaves. So that they become the slave masters. You get the right for being a master on your own. The liberation struggle and a process and an opportunity for every Ambazonian girl for live with dignity and class and prestige and self-worth and self-confidence. Your education, your hard work will give you the choice for life. Not before turn you into something where you look yourself in the mirror, feel ashamed. Papa go kneel down for another man. Another man picking go kneel down for another man picking. Because he won't work. For call you sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And they are on that. It come to an end. Power don't change hands. The power for Ambazonia don't change hands. Power now is in the hands of the vibrant young men and young women. My conclusion, my conclusive message to the Ambazonian people. Una destiny didn't have una hand. The era of the elites, it don't be over. Every Ambazonian is an elite. Every young man is an elite. Every young girl is an elite. We create a society of openness for where every person be equal. The era of entitlement, it don't be over. Power now, it didn't have una hand. Now you the common boy, the common girl. Now you the soldier, we no man will be know about you. Now you get the power today. The elites they cry now they are loss of power. Because a young person like Efang, he did do what he did not be ever fit for doing. A young man don't stand up for sacrificing his own life, for defend the land and protect the people then. And give the common man and woman hope. The colonial elites, they not get voice again. But they are vexation on that. Because Cameroun is time for Ambazonia don't come to an end. Cameroun is time for Ambazonia don't come to an end. The time of the Igs-Cpdm elites, it don't come to an end. Alright? General, your place the hour. Continue with the work. Be very brutal against the colonial elites, against the colonial authorities. When I don't see what they do for bitter cola, and the price that way every colonial elite, when a member of the Cpdm party, to Efang. Any person when a member of the Cpdm party, waiting Cameroun don't do them for bitter cola, now with them to the Efang for a land. They stand for occupation and colonialism, then too they will pay the same price. The ones stand for be the blockade for the freedom of Ambazonia. We, this generation, as a people don't rise, we go not only crush Cameroun, but the elites, whether they stand on our path, then too they will be crushed by this generation. By fire, by force. We will liberate our land and we will hold all of them accountable. General, not jealousy the kid. You did duty with enough do. You get power with not ever fit, forget them. They be get money, they not be fit for use that money. For give the people them power, liberate the people them, and give the people them dignity. The no man not suppress the will of the Ambazonia people them again. The language of liberation are gone. So Ambazonians, wanna take pride for our liberation. Wanna do everything humanly possible. Wanna protect our forces. Wanna protect our general so that they feel protect una. Any man with a dream, a plan, he conspire for kill our forces. He too, he get for die. Any man with plan for kill the commander, the general, the soldier there, he too get for die. Now an eye for an eye. Now method for method. When I hear a person will not make Ambazonia not succeed, that person too must go down. Now an eye for an eye.